In recent years, a growing discourse has emerged around Nicki Minaj's legacy. While some argue that her recent actions are tarnishing her historic impact, others maintain that her influence will always remain untouchable. And this raises a crucial question. How does an entertainer secure their legacy while still actively creating? What marketing strategy will they need to do that? So today, I want to answer that. And let's explore that deeper using Nicki Minaj as a case study. Trajectory of Nicki Minaj's career provides a masterclass in legacy building while also highlighting the challenges of legacy maintenance. What I mean by that is Nicki is still active. She's still putting out albums, she's still going on tour, so she has a legacy that she needs to maintain. Also, at the same time, she's already built a legacy. And that's something that nobody can take away from her because she came in and she changed, female representation in hip hop. We remember Nicki from Monster. We remember all of the things that Nicki has done to stamp her mark in hip hop history and also providing, a roadmap for other people to come in here. We have seen her peak. We have seen her go through so many things in our eyes. And recently we have seen how the barbz have come and helped her, and even with her recent album launch, the Pink Friday 2, even with the sales and everything, we have seen how Nicki still remains an icon. So this is something that's very strange. Not strange in a bad way, strange in a good way, because sometimes when you see, I've seen so many videos around how Nicki, and even they always say Drake as well, oh, they need to leave, they need to let people shine and all of that. Even when she's on a break, we don't see others shine. So what will she need to do? What's the framework that Nicki Minaj need to use so that she can still maintain her legacy while also at the same time being totally active? Let's talk about it in chapter 2. Legacy building in the entertainment industry requires you to be careful, strategic, while also maintaining authenticity, because you want to stay as you are, but also at the same time showing that you have evolved. So no matter what marketing strategy that you come up with, as long as you are in the entertainment industry, especially hip hop, you always need to be authentic as well. So for Nicki Minaj, we're just going to focus on these 3 legacy pillars. Let's get into them. Step 1 will be redefining and protecting your core identity. That's the first crucial step. It involves you protecting your core identity. So this not only means understanding what makes you unique and what makes you irreplaceable in the industry, but also making sure that you remind people all the time. Because depending on the amount of years you've spent in the field, a lot of people will be introduced to you at a different time. There are some people who are just being introduced to Nicki Minaj today. There are some people like myself who have been there from, day one. There are some people who came in 3, 4, 5 years later. So people have come in at different times. And during those times, Nicki herself has gone through different eras and different changes. So she needs to come back and redefine and let people know who she is. For her, it will look like, making sure she comes back to the rap, the flows, the character voices, her ability to dominate spaces. It's so funny because every time I go onto Twitter and I see Nicki being her animated self, some people are like, oh, what is she doing? I'm like, you really don't know her, because she's been like this from day one. So she needs to redefine her core identity. So that means, going back to the raps, going back to, the voices, doing strategic collaborations, doing the freestyles, releasing tracks that are like, Red Ruby the Sleaze, showing those things that we know Nicki of, the complex wordplay, the metaphors. So she can do that by, releasing music that's more focused on that as well, even though we know she has gone and tried different things. And also she needs to come back with a documentary. I remember the one that she did. Safari was in that documentary as well, and it just showcased her songwriting process. It showcased everything that she does behind the scenes. That's something that she needs to bring back as well. So that's step 1. Step 2 is narrative recontrol. What do I mean by that? It's very important when you're building legacy that you control the narrative, because we've got social media nowadays. This means that you need to take ownership of your story and retell it. You have to be a masterful storyteller and remind people of your journey, because people, if you don't tell them who you are, they will tell you exactly who they think you are. And Nicki needs to regain that control. She needs to start going back to doing interviews with respected journalists who understand her and understand hip-hop culture as well. She needs, social media strategies that highlight her impact on, rap, her impact on even women rappers as well. She needs documentary projects that tell her story from her own perspective. Let her tell her own story. And she needs some strategic partnerships, that also will help, and maybe a mentorship program that she can use to help, other women as well. Then step 3, which is my favorite, is to start a movement that shifts the culture. I remember listening to a podcast recently, and somebody was talking about how they feel like they've done everything that they need to do. So what should they do when they want to leave a legacy? And the other person said, you want to start a movement that shifts the culture. And I know I've used Denzel Washington in the thumbnail. I'm going to explain why I've used him, because I feel like he's done a really, really great job in maintaining his legacy while still being active. So what does that mean? It means after everything, you want to be remembered for something positive if you want to leave a lasting legacy. So starting a movement is the best way to do that. But not just any movement. You want to start something that will make a shift in whatever it is that you're doing. So for Nicki, it could look like creating something educational or even something business. She can be the person who's going to champion that you have to, be a businesswoman, or you have to own something. I don't know, whatever it is, but there's a movement that she needs to start that will shift, the culture. So what I'll do in chapter 3 is explain how this strategic framework was used in action by somebody like Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington provides a masterclass in legacy building through his recent transition and also through everything that he's been doing all of these past years. We have seen him transition into ministry whilst also maintaining his entertainment influence. And I want to show you how the framework that I've said in this video, how he's used it. Let's start from redefining core identity. We all know that Denzel has maintained his reputation for excellence in acting. He always talks about being excellent, being in the field. You have to work no matter what interview. Even recently, I've seen like a guy who has a very large social media audience asking him, what should I do? And he always ends the advice with, see you in the field. So that means he wants to be known for being excellent. He keeps redefining that core identity. You have to be excellent. He continues to select roles that aligns with that. Even when he's giving a speech, even when he's talking about faith, family, and everything, he always makes sure that he puts excellence and putting in the work in there as well. And then the second step is narrative control. We know that Denzel chooses where he speaks. He chooses how he appears. He's not everywhere when he appears. We know it's about work and other stuff. And he's not just talking about anything. He's making sure that the narrative stays that, he's excellent. He's about family. He's about positivity. His appearances, they focus on positive influence rather than controversy. They focus on, something that will move people forward as well. So now, last year in 2024, I've seen that he's moved into something faith-based leadership.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong.
That's what I want to call it. That's the movement that I'm talking about. Start a movement. It looks like Denzel wants to start a movement that's on faith-based leadership in entertainment. We see him, he's starting to work with the churches. And I know that a lot of people will go and watch Denzel minister to them. And he also mentors young actors and also provide, spiritual guidance with them. So that shows that he's still active, but he's doing things that will, maintain his legacy in a positive way. So now, I think I've used this video to provide some valuable lessons that Nicki Minaj can use and others even can use to secure their legacy while still actively creating. Let me know what you think in the comments. Barbz, I know you'll be here in this video, so let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you until the next one. Once again, thank you for watching, and thank you all to the commenters and the subscribers.